Good evening and welcome to highlights of the charity replay of that historic 1977 Centenary Test match in Melbourne between England and Australia. Tony Greig called incorrectly. Greg Chappell invited England to bat. Now, just before we take you to highlights of the England innings, Channel 9, the network, has been known throughout its history as being innovative with its sporting coverage, and we've got yet another innovation for you today. Some of these cricketers have gone on to become quite well-known commentators. Goes ball to Mike Brearley, straight through to Marsh.
Well, Tangle's getting a bit excited there. Half-hearted appeal emanating from those lips of his. But have a look at that. Came back a long way, actually. Bounced a bit, so perhaps he had some justification to get excited. Not a bad one, Tang. That's no ball called. Quite right, too. That might have something to do with that bat incident, I reckon.
It's taken him probably 12 years to get back. Well, let's have a look at that one. That must have been close to warrant an appeal such as that.
Now, Tangles, it's the old story if you're listening. It was swinging too much, definitely going down the leg side.
That's a magnificent shot from Bob Warmer. Tangle's just over pitching a bit. He won't be happy with that. There it is. Warmer going for the big cover drive again. Tangles has got the big nick behind.
Yes, he's had the last laugh after that lovely cover drive. This ball pitched just outside off stump, and Woolmer once again trying to repeat that beautiful cover drive he played earlier, and it hit the outside edge. And have a look at Marshy, beautifully in position, straight into the middle of the gloves, and haven't we seen that often before? Nice big nick, purposely bowled wide, no doubt.
One thing I just a little disappointed at here, Tony, is that there's no huge replay screen here to have a little bit of a look at myself like the players of today. But no doubt we'll get to look at it later. You better slip down and get changed, actually, because it won't be long before you're needed.
That's a magnificent shot off the back foot. Mike Brearley would have liked that. Into the fence for 4.
Yes, tremendous shot, but short that one from Lee. He's been just a little bit short, and nicely played by Mike Brearley. He's been waiting for the short ball. Watch how he hits this one down. Quite a wide ball. Right over the top, rolls the wrists, and that one went running away over this quite quick outfield down to the boundary.
Ready to go again, and Bruce Walker has joined us in the commentary position.
Thanks very much, Bruce. Great to be here. What a sensational match. What a great Yorker that one was to Mike Brearley.
Well, it really was a wicket ball, this. Beautiful Yorker. Look at that. Nearly got under. Finished up Mike Brearley playing a classic French cut.
That's going to be 4.
Now half volleys from DK. Oh, look at that. That was a legitimate bouncer, and Randall has swatted that over the mid-wicket boundary.
Whoops, whoops, whoops. Really didn't want to know about that one at all. Oh, that's in the air. Is it over the top? Yes, it is. That's going to fall safely. Well, that was a tennis shot from Derek Randall. It's the only way you can describe it.
And a no ball to boot. The square leg umpire has called the no ball. And Rod, what's going through Dennis's mind at the moment?
Not a lot, I'd say, Mick. I mean, it's the sort of wicket you can't afford to bowl short on, plus the fact he knows they're going to be called no balls.
That's over the top. That one swung back to the square. That's 4 runs. Mike really seeing them very well indeed from Gary Gilmore. And that was in the air, but again quite safe. 1 run to Mike Greeley. England now move on to 1 for 50. Oh, that was straight down the ground, just wide of the mid-off, into the fence. 4 more runs to Randall.
Well, magnificent shot by Randall. This is just past O'Keefe's outstretched hand. And that was always 4 runs.
That's in the air, and that's over the top too. It's going to fall safely. Not timed, but still. 2 more runs to Derek Randall. He just wants to get on with it.
As I was about to deliver the ball.
Oh, and that's hit Gary Gilmore in the foot. That was a difficult one. It came off sharply and really got the edge. And I think Gilmore was unsighted a bit.
It is a nice little leg break from Kerry O'Keefe. Just landed short.
And almost did.
He is amazing. Backhand sweep, and he missed. But look at Rodney Marsh.
That's a big hit. That is 6 runs back into the 6th row of seats. And Randall has clubbed a Kerry O'Keefe full toss for 6 over mid-on.
Kerry has bowled a big full toss and a beautiful flowing bat. The end of the over. An eventful over. England 1 for 67. No, it's close at the bowler's end. Had that hit, I think it would have been pretty close indeed. I don't think he's got any spikes on his boots. Bruce Walker's back with us.
Well done, Kerry O'Keefe. Mike Greeley is out for 35. England lose their 2nd wicket for 78.
It's a slightly quicker one from Kerry O'Keefe. Just slid on a little. Just turned away a little.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Straight through the covers, that's 4.
It's being the 26th over. I don't think Derek Randall will be hanging around for too much longer. Here we go.
That's another 6. That's right over the top again. Another full toss, another 6. Randall loves it, the crowd loves it. Kerry O'Keefe not too sure.
Isn't that fantastic batting? O'Keefe's bowled really well.
That one swatted for the square, straight to the boundary. Better Samus as England move on to 2 for 110. And he's batting superbly. That's another 4 runs to Randall. God, Marsh, we need to do something about this guy.
Yeah, that was a great shot. That was just pitched outside leg stump, and he got inside that and actually got it around there wide of mid-off, between mid-off and cover, and he's timed the ball magnificently.
Well, how about that one, too? Well, have another one. It's another 6 for Derek Randall. Well, have another dose. Another
for 6.
The 4th 6 to Derek Randall. 2 off Kerry O'Keefe, and now 2 in this over off Gary Gilmore.
That's it.
Don't fight over it, fellas. Gary Cozier takes the catch. Derek Randall departs. England lose their 3rd wicket for 128. And here goes Randall. As Mick Malone suggested, sooner or later one had to go in the air, catchable. But it certainly wasn't going to be long, and there it was, straight up in the air. It's a full ball and straight out through the covers. That's 4 runs. Don't need to chase that, Max.
He's such a strong player.
England 3 for 136. Down the ground. Max, yes, well done. O'Keefe's over, Walker's over.
This could be a catch to Davis. Unsighted, but pulls it in. And Ian Davis takes the catch. Dennis Amos. Caught by Davis, bowled Walters for 19. Got underneath that well because that sun was a real problem to Davis. Good shot by Amos. Gets hold of it well. Bit of a shield of the eyes and a nice catch to send Dennis Amos on his way. Back at the whacker, and Walters. Well, what a shot there by Fletcher. Full-blooded off drive, and that's 4 runs just wide of Rick McCosker. Oh, that's reminiscent of the Tony Greig of old. There'll be no stopping that, or O'Keefe running and has just pulled that in. 3 runs to Tony Greig to get him off the mark. Oh, nice shot and nice fielding. Gary Cozier. That's out. Well, so Tony Greig is out, and he'll be disappointed in that. I think the crowd will be too. The easiest of catches to David Hooks, fielding it mid-on. That's out. Oh, the faintest of edges there. And Chris Old not waiting for the umpire's finger. He was on his way. And that's the first duck of the day. Rod Marsh only too keen to accept that catch.
Yeah.
And Greg Chappell taking the wicket of Old. Chappell now weighed in with 2 wickets. And Chris Old sees the duck walk across. So England now 6 for 164.
I think that speaks for itself. And what a great match it's turning into. England invited to bat by Greg Chappell. 6 for 186 as Dennis Lilly gets swatted out through mid-wicket. That's 4 runs. They can stop running for that one. Oh, clean ball. He stepped back to square leg. He bobbed and weaved. He was going to have a big swish at it. Lilly saw it happening, put it on the stumps. Fletcher clean bowled for 41. The 7th English wicket falls for 193 runs. Good piece of bowling, Dennis Lilly. Nice innings, Keith Fletcher.
Well, it was a good piece of bowling by Lilly. Lilly saw Fletcher taking off out to square leg, and the perfect length delivery, just clipping the top of middle stump. And Dennis Lilly, at last, gets rid of his old foe, Keith Fletcher.
Oh, that had to be very close to a top edge. That was a lovely delivery from Max Walker.
that little bit of leg cut.
In the air court, what a brilliant catch. Bob Taylor departs for 11. Caught by David Hooks off the last ball of Max Waller's over. Taylor out for 11. Lever not out one. England now 8 for 197.
Well, even Bob Taylor can see the funny side of that. He got onto a full-blooded drive here, and this is a great catch by David Hooks. Played a bit of football in his time, Hooksy, and he drags in an absolute perler.
Hooks takes mark above the head to see the departure of Bob Taylor. A fine little innings from Taylor. He was out for 11, and that's the 8th England wicket. It's gone.
Shot.
Well, that was certainly competitive. Lever crushing Max. Goodbye, Deadly Derek. And Dennis Lilly's loving every moment of it. And why shouldn't he?
Well, when you bowl a tail-end batsman, should bowl at the stumps. Derek wasn't really quite behind that.
And Derek Underwood out for a duck. Still, he's not in there for his batting. He's there to bowl. And played all around this one. Good delivery from Lilly. Tall, rangy figure of Bob Willis. Got dismissed in the Centenary Test. And hits that one right in the middle of the bat for good measure. Well, Tangles, I suppose you'll be looking forward to just keeping the runs down for these last 5 deliveries.
Yeah. Not going to be easy, but I might ask Backus. Backus, what do you reckon I ought to give him this time?
Mate, I reckon the only way he's going to hit you for 4 is through the covers, so I reckon you've got to get in there and try and bowl well up on Midland leg stump. Yorker length, Midland leg stump. Come on.
Always believe the man.
Right out.
That's a brilliant piece of advice, Rodney.
Well, you know where his Midland leg stump was then? He's batting a yard outside leg stump, so it had to be over a bit further, Tang.
Ooh. Well, we heard the swish of the bat from here.
Be interesting to see how far this went over the stumps by. Oh, a whisker. It looks like about a ½ an inch.
And that should be out. No, it's going to bounce just in front of Greg Chappell. It's the 2. Time perhaps to Greg Chappell. No, over his head, into the bench for 4. So an excellent finish for the English team. And after 50 overs, 9 for 215. John Lever, 18 not out. Bob Willis didn't score. But an excellent finish for England, 215. Will take quite a bit of getting on this slow wicket. And Lever really did play well in that last over. Crashed Walker for 2 4s. As the players leave the field, a most entertaining 50 overs.
So at the end of 50 overs, England at 9 for 215. We'll be back in a moment with highlights of the...
And runs for McCosker, at least one. Amos will chase. So 2 runs to McCosker, opens his account and also Australia's. And what a good shot. Dennis Amos will do his best to get hold of that, couldn't do so. Lovely timing from Rick McCosker.
Yes, that was a beautifully timed shot. just used the pace of the new ball onto the bat. What a lovely shot. Well, that wasn't all that short. Ian Davis. It's another beautiful off-cutter. He's licked him a couple of times on the inside of that thigh. Look at this one come back. Looks to be in beautiful rhythm. That's beautifully run. Derek Randall, forever in the game.
Beautiful piece of fielding. There was always one there. Very well placed. Davis wanted to go. Randall just changing step there. And dead-eye Dick. England.
There it is. Beautiful leg cutter from Bob Willis. And Ian Davis obliging, just following the leg cut. And nicely taken by Bobby Taylor behind.
Yes, well, Bobby Taylor doesn't drop them. Good piece of bowling from Bob Willis here. Just moving away a little bit off the seam, and Ian Davis attempting to glide that down to third man. He's just succeeded in getting a faint outside edge. Pretty well caught by Bob Taylor. So that's the end of Ian Davis. Australia lose their first wicket, 1 for 27. Well, that's not a bad delivery first up to Hooksy. Well bowled Bob Willis.
Oh, that's got to be close. We'll have another look at that one. Possibly pitched outside leg stump, right?
Chris Old not too happy. I was going to say it might have hit him outside the line of off stump. Very, very close indeed.
That's cut, that's through. Fine shot, that's 4 runs to David Hooks. That's cut to midfield. Is it going to reach the boundary? I think it is. Yes, it does.
I think that square out there, I didn't realise just how uneven that is, that wicket area. Now that went to Derek Randall, who is probably England's best fielder. Another wide one from Willis. But there's a lot of rough patches out there. I noticed Dougie Walters fielding on that square in our innings, and he had quite a bit of trouble judging the awkward bounce. And I'd say it was that awkward bounce that beat Randall, because he is a brilliant fielder. Still.
Slow one. Oh, well, that proves the point. And we go for overthrows. A brilliant piece of fielding by Derek Randall, and he shies at the stumps to keep the batsman honest, and failed to see there was no one backing up.
I told you he's a brilliant fielder, but he's a bit of a madman as well. Touch of loony about him every now and then. And he had a shy at the stumps then, but that's superbly fielded. There's no doubt about that. Hooksy was never going anywhere. And the ball nearly going for 4 overthrows, but my goodness, what a piece of fielding.
Oh, that had to be very close. That's out. Depart Rick McCosker for 19. That's the breakthrough that England wanted. Australia lose their second wicket. Rick McCosker caught by Taylor off the bowling of Old for 19. Australia 2 for 39.
A little off cutter here from Chris Old. That one nipping back, and Bob Taylor catching it inches off the ground at inside edge. The downfall of Rick McCosker. And that's very well caught by Bobby Taylor yet again, doing a marvellous job out there tonight. So as Rick McCosker departs with the total on 39, Rodney Marshall depart as well, Bruce, and go and pad up.
Well, the look on Gary Cozier's face tells the story. That one's passed. Backward a point. That's racing to the boundary. He can give up that chase. That's 4 runs. Cozier moves on to 5s. Australia 2 for 44. But they're going to have to work hard to get the 215. Yep. That's wide of the second slip. There'll be just the single. They're going for 2.
Well, that's 4 runs. Too short, and Cozier taking it over the top of mid-wicket. Yeah, forget that ball for a moment, Bob Willis. What do you think of this, the wave, as they call it, as it goes around the ground?
Well, I'm hoping it's disturbing the batsman's concentration, because there's no way my bowling is at the moment.
Talking about magnificent. Got a stroke by David Hooks.
Cozier goes over the top of mid-off. A little chip shot. Will it run to the fence? Yes, it does. And he's got under this. Whoa! Well, Derek Randall, I think you had it caught. Played around and dropped it.
Well, I'd say that Derek Randall deserves a smack for this. We talked about Cozier going out and hooking. That was a hoik, and Randall takes the catch. There's no doubt about that. He pops it up for the crowd, and he's still playing with it, but he's lost it. And how embarrassing. The Clown Prince has made a muff of it. Well, Bob, there's no justice in the game. I think you deserved that wicket. You set it up, you made it happen.
Well, it always was a batsman's game, Tangles, but I think Derek left his brains on the ground as well as the ball there.
I think it's a basically very honest comment from a very hard toiling bowler who's almost completed his 10-over spell. Well, that is a shocker of a shot. That one should have come this way, down the ground, the big off drive, somewhere around about the area where Chris Holt is standing, but instead a thickish top edge, and not the best looking shot in the world, Bruce.
Cozier takes to it. Is that over the fence? Yes, it is. 6 runs to Gary Cozier. A loose delivery from Derek Underwood. He said, thank you very much. That's probably the first one of the ones he's gone over the top that he's actually timed and hit in the middle of the bat.
Gray Nichols double scoop. Look at the power in this. He's got a lot closer to the pitch of the ball with that shot. Judging by the eye line, that's where he wanted it to go right from the start.
Clean bowled him, stepped down the wicket, tried to hit him out of the park again. Deadly Derek shows the guile of the master. Deep part, Gary Cozier. And Australia loses its third wicket for 96 runs.
Cozier didn't have his head down. He didn't look at that. Derek Underwood, the old pro, he put her up in the air. He dropped his length back a bit, and Cozier was in no man's land there.
And he's off the mark from the first ball with a single, backward square. He gives Derek a friendly tap on the bottom with the bat. So the game is on.
Greg Chappell looks in pretty reasonable touch. There's a man in form to glide that from off stump into the gap on the onside. Hooks knew very well where he was going to position that. It brought him 2 runs.
And there's the Australian 100 up in the 29th over. Australia 3 for 100, still needing 116 runs for victory.
Lovely stroke, that last one. David Hooks, of course, still playing first-class cricket.
Oh, that had to go. That's 4 runs, right through the gap. Well, that's a punishing shot from Chappell. That'll get to the boundary. That's 4 runs.
And Tony Greig, that shot must bring back a few memories.
Yes, beautiful shot. Very composed, elegant batsman. Looks good too, doesn't he, Greg? He looks very fit. Lovely upright player. Lovely timer of the ball.
Oh, what a superb cover drive for Greg Chappell.
Well, that's as good a shot as we've seen all this game. That was magnificent. Off the back foot. Well, what a brilliant shot by Greg Chappell.
It's over the top. That's a big hit. That's 6. It's a big 6. David Hooks unwinds. And there is the 50 runs on the board to David Hooks. He moves straight up to 55. And we'll have another one. That's even bigger.
Well, Tony Greig, get on quickly or might get a chance.
Anything Derek Randall can do, David Hooks can match.
Tony Greig to come on the bowl. Of course he is. He's having a load of the crowd. Well, what a moment this will be.
Well, perhaps not this exact moment bowling to Greg Chappell, but recall 1977, David Hooks 5 successive 4s off Tony Greig. Something he has never, ever been able to erase from his memory. That was off the hip. That's going to hit the boundary.
Well, Australia's starting to take hold of this game. And England desperately needing a wicket. Bit of spin there for Greg, but Greg Chappell able to turn that off the hip.
3 for 144. Ryan's pulled just forward of square. It'll be cut off. Oh. Fletcher trying to do it the easy way. Bad in this field, didn't want to go down. 4 runs to Chappell. That one won't get to the boundary, I don't think. It'll be cut off, but they'll get a couple. 10 off the over.
Got him! Well, revenge at last. Oh, doesn't he love it? Well, David Hooks had to take up the challenge. And 62 brilliant runs for the Australian team. And eventually lifting the head, neatly stumped by Bob Taylor. A wonderful innings by David Hooks comes to an end. Tony, how do you feel now?
I promise you that. Really good. That'll keep you guys quiet for a while.
Well, congratulations, and this is how you did it. David Hooks running down the wicket. Smart stumping by Bob Taylor, and you've obviously put a lot of planning and thinking into that one, Tony. Didn't take you that long. On lever to bowl to Walters. Snick out, and Doug Walters walking. Well, Bob Taylor completes his 4th dismissal out of 5. Doug Walters for 1. Just the thinnest of outside edges.
He's taken the gas. It's in the air. Bobby Woolmer is limping. It's dropped safely. And no run on whatsoever there. They're through for 2. And that's another good shot through the covers. That's a better looking shot.
Well, the story here is that I'm going to give Marshy a bit of air. He's not going to be able to resist the temptation. And he's going to hit it down long on or long off throat.
Well, I'm going to sit on the edge of my seat and wait in anticipation.
But he's hit it wide of long off. He has actually smashed it before. There it is. It's up, Bobby. He's caught him. Well caught, Bob Woolmer. A brilliant piece of tactical play by Tony Gregg.
Well, that proves exactly what we've been saying for many years, that some players do think a lot about the game. The strategy was thought out. Took a couple of deep breaths before he actually came out with the strategy, but it was right. It cost him 4 runs. A magnificent shot by Marsh. A little higher, a little wider. And there it is. Woolmer takes the catch, and Marsh now departs. Australia, well, a real game here. 6 for 185. That's well run by Gary Gilmore. That takes him off the mark, and it seemed like eternity. Well, Gus has said a prayer to the big fella upstairs. He set a boundary, and a timely one too, because the run rate required is still over 4 runs and over. He seemed to do that with the odd boundary rather than singles. But there was a good shot. The angle helped Gilmore here. Pitching outside leg stump, and he got it away nicely. So Tony Gregg, the pressure right back on him now. Oh, there's been a fall. Gilmore looking very much lacking in composure. It's a humorous moment for everyone out there, I guess, but Gary Gilmore, you very rarely see an umpire. That is just about a first for the summer, laughing. But watch this.
Well, who knows what happened there?
And that is a great catch. Gilmore departs. I think I'll have to depart too for the dressing room to pull the gear on. Tony Gregg message. But that's bad luck for Gary Gilmore. He's out now. Greg Chappell's still there on 46. Australia now in heaps of trouble. 7 down and only 3 overs to go.
Well, Gus Gilmore won't remember this is his best innings. Got the inside edge eventually to Lever, and he's out. Dismissed for 4 runs. That was in a single swipe.
It's a fine shot by Greg Chappell. It'll just be the 1, they were thinking the 2. Greg Chappell won, but Curio keeps setting back. Just going to be the single to Chappell. This is what England want. Tony Gregg, this is the sort of pressure you want. Curio keep on strike.
Yeah, more than that, we want him to nick one.
That's through the gap. But Randall's out there to come in to keep it down to just a single. 17 required to win as the 16 required to win, rather, because that's the 200 up.
Handy runs for England.
That's 2 runs.
For Australia, I should say, 2 runs.
And that's what they needed. Leaves Greg Chappell on strike at the end of the over. Australia 7 for 203. Deadly Derek Underwood. Just setting his field. He's about to take up the attack to Greg Chappell. Chappell's on 49. Although keeps up to it. Just a single, thank you very much, will leave Greg Chappell on strike.
and Tony Greig. Well, read your own interpretation into that one.
Greg tells it, I'll hook it up with a boot and smash it to the boundary.
Well,
That's
just
got to be through to the boundary.
Just wide a bit.
Right.
And Bob, how far away were you from that?
Oh, I was a fair distance away from it, I think. There was a time.
Greg Chappell on strike. Do we go into the final over? Or is Greg, who has shown a little bit of aggression in this over? And it looks like it's going to be it. That's match winning. It's all over in the 49th over. Australia win the Centenary Challenge, surpassing the England total of 9 for 215. Australia 7 for 216. Chappell 59 not out. O'Keefe 6 not out. 10 sundries. 7 for 216 at the end of the 49th over. Congratulations all round. It has been a sensational match. Congratulations particularly to Rodney William-Marsh, whose idea it was, who put it all together. But our particular thanks to the players who came together for a rematch of this, the 1977 Centenary Test clash. Memories revisited here at the Wacker tonight. 2 more to go. Adelaide on Wednesday and then Brisbane on Sunday. First blood to Australia, defeating England, beating the total of 9 for 215 at the end of the 49th over. Australia 7 for 216. Victory to Australia. Well, what a great match it turned out to be. It always promised it was going to be, and it certainly didn't let us down. Let's just check the scorecards. England were sent into bat. Here's the heart of their batting. Brearley opening with a 35. Derek Randall, a very fast and entertaining 69, including 4 sixes. And Keith Fletcher late in the innings with a fine 42. So England 9 for 215 off their 50 overs. And here's how the 50 overs went. Lilly 2 for 31. Walker 2 for 39. Cozier no wicket for 20. Gilmore 1 for 45. O'Keefe 1 for 42. Walters 1 for 21. And Greg Chappell himself 2 for 13. In reply to that 7 and 9 for 215, Australia went into bat, and they never did it the easy way. But David Hookes at 62, again, a very important part of the innings. Gary Cozier, a bit chassis, but he hit hard for 31. Greg Chappell, 59 not out. How magnificent was that? And Rod Marsh, a fast fire 15. The England bowling figures. We have Lever 2 for 32, Old 1 for 25, Willis 1 for 31, Underwood 1 for 43, Woolman none for 29, and perhaps that was a little better than none for 29, and Tony Greig himself 2 for 45. So England making 9 for 215, Australia in reply, they were 7 for 216 at the end of the 49th over, 1 over up their sleeve. A tremendous match, victory, first blood to Australia.